Так. Что не то с разрешением у меня тут. Белая полосочка такая. Странная. Угу. Настройки. Ладно. А если захват игры? Захват игры нету. А вот так есть. Сейчас нормально. Если просто сделать захват игры, а не окна, то все хорошо. Пойдет. В общем-то, Godus игра интересная, но, правда, я не понимаю немножко смысла в игре. Почему? Потому что... Потому что... О! Я могу менять настроечки. Вот. Самое главное по-настоящему вещь, которая меня больше всего добивает в игре, это строительство. То есть я понимаю, что есть какие-то определенные параметры, да. Ну, допустим, вот этот прибрежная лачуга будет строиться не 90, а 45. А вот это должна строиться не 300, а, например, 100. Понятно, что прибрежный домик, он больше, чем... Ну, не 100, может быть. Наверное, не 100 все-таки нужно брать. 75 все-таки. Вот так вот. Домик на траве. Угу. Здесь я поставлю, допустим, вот лачугу на траве. 45. Ну, 50, допустим. Тэч на траве. 75. Коттедж. 95. Дом на траве. 120. Горный домик. 75. Горный коттедж. 95. Горный дом. 20. Горное поместье. 150. Вот здесь тоже какое-то такое нехорошее количество. 1800. Это и вы, и я будем страдать. Поэтому такая должна строиться 15. Такая должна строиться, ну, допустим, 35. Такая должна строиться 75. Такая должна строиться, ну, 100. Такая должна строиться, ну, 125. И такая 175. Даже этого будет за глаза. Не понимаю, вот есть укрытие, да. Ладно, также сделаем, как и тут. То есть 15, 35, 75, 100, 125, 175. Коли везде повторяем одно и то же, еще 2 раза то же самое сделаем. 15, 35, 75. С игры, когда я раньше играл, такого не было. Такой запары. Ну, я тут прочитал просто, из-за чего все бомбят на эту игру. Из-за как раз вот этого появления времени. Раньше все достаточно быстро появлялось, да, ну, то есть вот эти каменные постройки и все остальное, да, появлялось достаточно медленно, но все равно появлялось быстро по сравнению с тем, что сейчас. А потом, не знаю, с capacity ничем не меняю. Тут все, в принципе, апдейт гейм. Так, на всякий случай я просто проверяю. Все сохранилось, отлично.
Here we are at the start of the game. The first thing we wanted to do is to give you a feeling of connection with your two followers. Now, this is something that we're going to be working on over the forthcoming months. I like this very simple beginning. I love the idea that everything that's going to come from this, you should remember this first moment where you only had two followers. The first thing, of course, is sculpting. Now, sculpting is designed to be as relaxing as possible. Over the months, we have pulled back on sculpting, so don't over sculpt is my advice to you. Only sculpt when you need to sculpt, but you don't want to get too tired. We don't want to take the power away to sculpt. We just don't want you to overdo it. So you shouldn't be doing this every second of the day, and it's later on in the game it's going to cost you a lot to sculpt. Remember that sculpting on sand is completely free, but buildings you put on land are less on sand are less effective.
Да-да. Есть определенные слои, на которые я могу как бы воспользоваться. Вот сейчас вот этот уже слой не могу использовать. Да ё-моё. Хочу этот слой увеличивать. Да-да. Да-да. Ищет землю обетованную. Ой. Игра заточена на планшеты, я так понимаю. Вот. Но... можно и без этого. Хм-хм-хм. Да, молодец. Мало места. Все дела. А вообще территория достаточно приятная для вас. Ну да ладно. Были бы только силы. Ей! А здесь неплохо, да?
Okay, you've just been asked to remove rocks. The rocks
Всё на
are a
немецком.
fantastic store of belief. My first big tip to you is don't destroy too many rocks, because later on they're a really good way of getting that and topping up your belief. They seem like a negative, but actually later in the game when you're not mining, they become a positive. So be careful with your rocks.
Не люблю. Сначала, значит, сначала. Билдем. Так. Все это дело убираем. Теперь мы можем застроить все и вся. Да, успокойся. Все будет нормально. Я хочу вот это. Та-дам-та-дам. Я красота. Хватай то, что нужно, а не то, что ты хочешь. Ой, ё-моё. Так. Так. Это не изменяется, это пока что тоже. Ладно. Как-то так. Билдом. Так, новая карта.
Okay, now you've got the Restore Ruin card. This allows you to direct your followers to repair these ruins, which generally speaking will unveil different parts of the land. Now, there are later on in the game, there are different routes that you can take. Some of these will require either a lot of your resources or a lot of your followers to do. Generally speaking, the more... Here we are in the timeline. Now, we've gone through a ton of revisions, haven't we, on the timeline?
Yeah, started out as a book, and then where do we go from a book? I think we had many iterations of the timeline.
Yeah, many iterations. And really what we wanted to get to is a feeling for you that you were in control of what was unlocked. Right, you've received your first proper abode. Now, abodes have followers in them. There are two types of followers that live in this type of abode. That one are breeders. If an abode has breeders in, that means more people will be bred. Fairly obvious that. They also have workers. Now, you will notice that a little pip appears over an abode when a worker has something to do. You can click on that pip. At this moment, that's pretty much the only thing you can do with workers. But very soon now, you'll be unlocking Lishu, There's lots of powerful things that you can do with leashing. So it will seem a little bit grindy for a while. We just want to get you totally used to the idea that workers live in abodes, breeders breed, abodes give you things like belief. So bear with us, because you know the real strategy starts coming in a little bit later.
Много болтают. Очень много болтают. Моих расширение.
You've just unlocked belief, possibly the most valuable of all the resources in Godus. Belief allows you to sculpt anywhere. It allows you to use some of the god powers that you'll be unlocking in the next hour. And the more belief you have, the more powerful you feel as God. The main way is to leave your followers in an abode so they generate belief faster. Now, don't think that you're probably thinking at the moment, oh, well, I don't like leashing around and collecting my belief like that. We've got a solution for you later on. We allow you to group all your settlements together, so you only have to tap on a few things. But bear with us, because one thing I like about collecting belief at the start of the game, not at the end, not at the mid game, but at the start of the game, is it reminds you, it pulls you back to your original settlers to pick up the belief. You'll also notice in the bottom left-hand corner that little pulsing belief ball shows you that you've got uncollected belief. We didn't quite have time to allow you to click on that to zoom to the place where the belief is, but we'll pick that up later on. You are now able to sculpt not only sand, but to sculpt grass. But beware, because it costs you that valuable belief to sculpt on grass. The higher you sculpt, the more expensive. So don't, at this point, go to the top of a mountain and start sculpting it down. You'll run out of belief within seconds. Keep your sculpts to the lowest level of grass, and I would use this at this point to maybe think about going on a bit of a treasure hunt. Now, we've hidden loads of chests around this first area, and just using your sculpting power to find some of those chests. They're going to give you stickers, and those stickers are going to allow you to unlock cards. It's great to have a little store of those stickers because it gives you the flexibility later on.
Yeah, where the sculpting's in kind of small drugs rather than these big land maneuvers, it means that you can kind of be a little cheeky when it comes to some of these chests and just notch out the land a little bit at a time, and that way if you can just see the chest poking out, sometimes you can get hold of it without having to burn a huge ton of belief.
Here we are in the timeline. Now, we've gone through a ton of revisions, haven't we, on the timeline?
Yeah, started out as a book, and then where did we go from a book? I think we had many iterations of the timeline.
Yeah, many iterations. And really what we wanted to get to is a feeling for you that you were in control of what was unlocked and when it was unlocked. So there's two stages. That first the first strip you can scroll through now, and you can see where your advances are happening. There's some truly exciting advances in there. New to the PC build is the completely new settlement thing. We'll come to that later. But you need to be a little bit strategic, especially with the cards in the second row, which is the cards that you've discovered or unlocked by filling your bars up, and that you're going to unlock with stickers. Now, my big advice to you is don't waste your stickers.
Mm-hmm.
Here we are in the timeline. Now, we've gone through a ton of revisions, haven't we, on the timeline?
Yeah, started out as a book, and then where did we go from a book? I think we had many iterations of the
Yeah,
timeline.
many iterations. And really what we wanted to get to is a feeling for you that you were in control of what was unlocked and when it was unlocked. So there's two stages. That first, the first strip you can scroll through now, and you can see where your advances are happening. There's some truly exciting advances in there. New to the PC build is the completely new settlement thing. We'll come to that later. But you need to be a little bit strategic, especially with the cards in the second row, which is the cards that you've discovered or unlocked by filling your bars up, and that you're going to unlock with stickers. Now, my big advice to you is don't waste your stickers.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to they seem like you've got a lot of stickers at the start of the game, but as you go through, you'll realise that, say, being very strategic about the use of your stickers. Now, this first one is about New Age settlers, and it allows you to build this new abode.
So, I mean, you can use the undiscovered cards timeline to see, have you got more than one type of card coming in after one another, and decide whether you want to save up. I'll end up having a few cards that I never complete because I want to save up something bigger, because it gets tougher later on.
Yeah, definitely. And again, this is part of the kind of deeper strategy. The thing I like about this is that if you can't be bothered with that strategy, you don't have to. You can just stick your stickers on randomly. Your game is not going to be so naturally flowing if you do that. But if you are someone who I'm like this, who, like a Civilization player that likes to unlock the things that they actually want, so.
Так, практически достроил территорию. Вот как-то так. Хавиш. Не надо. Тут тоже не надо.
Okay, you've just unlocked the Living Society card. This is an example of do you waste your stickers on this? Do you, as a god, care about your followers being happy or being friends? Now, we are going to be introducing a lot about happiness. You'll notice on the right-hand side of the screen there is a happiness bar. You may think, well, who cares? I don't really care about your happiness. Happiness is going to become very important later on. We'll talk about it when we come to it. But you know, I've played this game without unlocking the Living Society, and okay, my followers are a little bit unhappy, but who cares less? Maybe you don't want to waste those stickers at the moment. Next is the Temple of Doom. This is the first PC exclusive feature that we have, and we'll be talking about that. It's a really exciting feature.
Он сейчас будет строиться, наверное, в другом месте. То, что мне нужно. Нет, ты будешь в основном... Давай, постройся здесь. Отлично.
The leash, at last. For me, this is where the game really starts to be a bit more strategic. Deciding where your followers go, what they build, deciding whether or not you want to leash your followers to the pit of doom and get those lovely gems from sacrificing their lives. This is where it starts. Now, there's lots of different ways to use the leash. The first is to just tap and hold on a single follower and then direct them to where you want them to go. This can be to shrines of expansions that you've unlocked. This can be to repair different buildings. This can be to build things. This can be to take them and see what they will do. If you take a follower next to someone who's dead, you'll notice that they'll react differently. This is a way we think of you breaking their free will. It's fine to use the leash as much as you want. Later on, in a subsequent update, we're tracking the amount of time you take the free will away from your followers. So there is going to be a consequence to what I call over-leashing. But at the moment, you know, feel free to do whatever you want with your followers.
This is my favourite thing to do, actually, when you just get, like, you save up your belief and you get about 15 people and lead them to a massive area of land that you've prepared, and then just leash and let them all go to it and just start a massive building project. This is also the way that you get people to the pit of doom, just in case you're wondering. And this was a replacement for the totem that we originally had, which was a lot harder to balance and a little bit more fiddly, and this was our more tactile way of giving this mechanic.
Yeah, and it does feel really nice to have that tactile feedback on your followers, to actually pick a follower up and decide exactly where they will go. Again, this is another thing I love about our approach is you may never use the leash. You can just sprog. It's called sprogging. If you tap on a follower pip above a house, you don't have to bother about it, but it does allow you for deeper strategies, really planning out your world. Sculpting an area that's up high, for example, will give you more belief when they generate belief, but you'll need to get your people there, and using the leash to do that is a fantastic way.
You can also use this mechanic on trees or rocks to destroy trees or rocks. The same with collecting bully. So clicking and holding on any object in the world and dragging will usually give the same result.
Пам-пам-пам-пам. Отстроим, застроим, все сделаем. Хорошо. Сейчас все это дело опустим. И будет все очень-очень хорошо. Так, у нас один домик тут. А так получилось до хрена. Ху-ху-ху. Так. Вот еще один дом. чем выше или ниже, тем дороже. Но в то же самое время мне сейчас нужно это будет. Хорошо, хорошо. А, вот почему не могу. Там белая территория. Так. Здесь у нас есть некоторая территория, там есть некоторая территория. Вот есть некоторая территория. Ладно. Пускай отстраивают. О, кокосик собрал.
Bigger abodes. Now, this has been quite a
И что? И игра крашнулась. Все отлично. Пока что все идет отлично. Апдейт бета 53%. Да вижу я, вижу. Так, мне нужно что-то еще. Одно. Так, это разговоры, это не то. А вот и оно. Немножко непонятно. Не то. Чем больше жилищ, тем больше в них верующих. Так. Лачуга из травы. Хм. Угу. Ну, пускай. Другая лепка. Иди туда, на начальную территорию. Там надо построить домик. Далековато. Я отправил его далековато. Хм-хм-хм. Давай, давай, иди. И практически дошел. Колосу.
Unlock this card. It's incredibly valuable. Those rocks that are getting in the way, they really can be a great source of belief. Also, if you're finding yourself waiting around, use the leash loads. Almost every, at this stage of the game, almost every follower in your world should be building something. So leash to a spare plot, sprog a spare plot, and you'll be speeding through this section. We really, in design terms, I really want you to, the reason why we slightly pause the game here, I really want you to get used to leashing. I want you to get used to this way of gameplay. If something is taking a long time, focus on something else. If building is taking a long time, focus on picking up rocks now that they're worth 10 times their belief when you unlock this card. If you're finding that you've run out of rocks, focus on treasure hunting. If you're finding that you're running out of treasure, you can start doing voyages if you've unlocked that. Don't forget, if you haven't built the dock at the moment, leash more people to it. Speed it up with gems, because those voyages are a brilliant way of doing something while your little followers get on with building the world, the building tasks you've set them.
К слову, это не я чихаю. Это там на фоне кто-то. Окей. Так. Отлично. Отлично. Наискосок, но мы вроде как что-то делаем. Один дом, второй дом. Вот здесь чуть-чуть не хватает, наверное. Так. Холосо, холосо. Отстраиваем. Потихонечку, потихонечку отстраивается. Автоматический сбор. Зачем мне терять место? Building. Два домика здесь. Мы идем туда. Я не потеряю эту территорию. Все же, как бы, пускай это начальная территория, но тут все равно возможно строительство. Еще два дома.
This is the first of your god powers, a pretty simple god power it seems like at the start. Now, you may think this is all about making a world beautiful, and indeed it does, but it's got some side effects to it which are really useful in the strategy later on. The first thing you'll notice is when you put down a tree, the tree will slowly grow over time. You can use other god powers to enhance that growth, but the people really like it. If you put it down near an abode, they'll come out and they'll worship it. Your happiness will go up slightly, and that again is going to be important if you haven't yet reached the full impact of happiness. Also, later on in the game, if you've looked through your timeline, you'll notice that trees enhance and buff abodes near them. So really careful strategic placing of your trees. Be careful though, because the more trees you put down, the more expensive it is. Also, at this point in the game, if you haven't unlocked the expansion temple, make sure you do. Make sure that if you have unlocked it, that second layer that unlocked is a great place to get ready for settlements. You'll see what I mean when we come to settlements, but don't over sculpt. Yeah, you shouldn't be sculpting most of the time now. You should be treasure hunting, you should be going on voyages, You should be strategically getting people to build things. At this point, your world shouldn't be a really big flat plane, unless you want it to be, of course. You may be the sort of person that wants that stuff. There's no real specific advantage to over sculpting. It's better to use the landscape in the way you can. We've been really careful of how we've designed this land, so that there's lots of little hints in the landscape itself as to the best way to get through this section.
Открываем храм. Я, конечно, не против того, что мне дали камни. Но я против того, что они решили того. Я вроде не собирался их уничтожать. Но за камни спасибо. А вот это следующий верующий. Вот наверняка в настройках можно поменять, да? Capacity можно увеличить. Угу. Ну, я не хочу тут читерить, меня интересовало только время по-настоящему. Но вот восстановление, время восстановления такое, что просто хочется что-нибудь с этим сделать. нас тут только... Capacity. Build plot. Печаль. Ну, что написано? Что следующий верующий будет через 46 минут. Это печально. Ну, я уже понял, что это жертвенный алтарь. Значит, горфика узнает. А вот это надо потихонечку будет носить.
Okay, Bronze Age stickers. Now, you may have been thinking to yourself, oh god, it's so many stickers to unlock a card. You know, this is getting tedious. And this is where we want that frustration to turn into motivation. So we give you this Bronze Age sticker resource card. If you unlock this with nice pink fluffy cloud stickers, you'll then have, every time you discover a sticker, it has a good chance of being double, sometimes even triple the value. You'll notice that some stickers have multiple resources on it. Later on there's going to be another one of these to unlock something even more powerful. My advice to you is, if you have unlocked times 10 rocks, now is the time to focus on this card. It's a valuable card, and it means all of your treasure hunting and voyages will be a little bit better.
Простой набор наклеек. Вера. Ну, еще можно вот такой. А что такое много общения? Как вы увидели, мы можем покупать наклеечки. Наклеечки стоят кристаллички. Кристаллички можно получить, если... Ну, там несколько штук по-настоящему. Во-первых, можно это сделать, если заниматься добычей. Но это у нас по уровню пока что не подходит. Не подходит по уровню. Не подходит по уровню. Ё-моё. Ты так хочешь потратить денежку? Я не против дополнительной территории, конечно. Но все-таки я хотелось бы... Не хотелось бы тратить лишнее. Мгм. Отлично. По чуть-чуть, по чуть-чуть. Мы расширяем территорию. Так, ладно. Хм. Вот как-то так. Ё-моё. Удаляй не...
Here we go. Probably my favorite new feature in the PC build is this farming and civilizing. We've gone through, God, Jack, we've gone through so many
At least
iterations.
3 major iterations.
Yeah.
This is where the game really starts, you know.
It really allows you to strategically organise your population into a far more efficient workforce. It also solves one of the problems that I'm sure you're frustrated with now, and that is the number of clicks you have to collect belief. Now, we have considered a whole host of things to help with that. We've considered birds flying out and picking up the belief for you. We've considered statues that allow you to auto-collect belief. But actually, the answer is in settlements. What you can do with settlements is group all your abodes together into one enormous village, town, and eventually even city. And that means you've only got 1 click to collect all your belief. So do this now. Really play around with it. Move the circle round to get as many abodes in. Try it out. Get a sample of it. You see if you like the look. Think about how you're going to expand after that. This is where the real strategy is. I have seen many people, with careful placement of settlements, really advance much further. After this card is unlocked, and the builder settlements afterwards, I find my world reduces down from about 50 abodes to about 10 abodes, and as many settlements as I can squeeze in. You'll also have to save up belief. This is well worth saving up for. Do everything you can to get belief. Do voyages, go on rock hunts, spend some of those gems. You want this feature now because the game really starts improving after this feature.
Take advantage of the old preview button as well with the settlements, because you can keep moving that ring around so subtly and get very different results with the kind of clumping of the houses as they build these like shanty towns, and you can get some really lovely creative stuff and continue to apply to it as well. And if you look at the abodes, we've kind of gone through a few different abode designs over the times, and some of them weren't too kind of complementary to the repetition of abodes and things. But now we've kind of gone with this nice blockish look, which really allows you to kind of clump all the houses together. It gives us somewhere to go later on as well.
Потихонечку убираем лишние слои. Печально не доиграла музыку. Прям парочку нот. И опять игра крашнулась. Ой, ё-моё. Загружайся, игра. Она загрузилась, она. Нет. Вот так вот. Ну вот так вот.
Okay, Pit of Doom. This is the first PC exclusive feature and it unlocks gems. Now here's the thing. I love as a designer the concept of gems. The gems on the PC are very, very different to gems on mobile. Gems on the PC allow you to use your skill to find and collect and hoard gems, and then using those gems on different areas of the game. If you want things to go faster, if you want a building to go faster, you can do that. If you want to give your followers gifts, you can do that. If you want to go through voyages quick with more followers, you can do that. Gems really allow you to use your impatience or your curiosity to mod the game. They're not something to be frightened about. And you'll notice on the PC as well, there's no way of buying gems with money. We don't want you to buy with money. You've already spent your money on this game. We want to use your skill as a gamer to collect as many gems as possible. Now, there's two approaches to gems. The first approach is a turtle approach. I am a turtle. I like hoarding stuff and feeling rich. So collecting as many gems as you can, but don't spend them unless you feel you absolutely have to. The second approach is the spendthrift approach, and that means as soon as you get a gem, you spend it. Your average on average, you'll probably only have 4 or 5 gems at any one time, where the turtle will have up to 100 gems. Don't be frightened of these. These are exciting gameplay features. They've been balanced. This is balanced for you. I would warn you though, if you overspend at the start, you might live to regret it. You're going to get through the game faster than the turtle, but you're going to come to a point where you just wish you had more of those gems. There's always gems to find. There's 3 ways of getting gems. The first way is the Pit of Doom. Again, if you're a vengeful god, just sacrifice your followers. They'll go into the Pit of Doom and you'll get one, occasionally more than one, a gem. Just try different followers going into the Pit of Doom. There may be different results. That will give you a gem. But notice that your followers will become very unhappy. That doesn't seem to have an effect now, but it will later on. The second way is to do voyages. So you're going to have voyages later on. These are directly related to your skill. At protecting your followers in a different minigame. And the third way is treasure hunting. You can go around and find chests which have gems hidden in them. Any or all of these ways are valid ways of getting gems.
Ну, только непонятно, почему здесь вот не получается. Ну, такое. Ладно. Давай. Делаем. Так, ладно.
Wood-built abodes. Now this allows you to put bigger abodes on sand. It's a tough choice, this one. You're just at the stage where you're realizing the different types of stickers unlock different advances for your people. Personally, I tend to leave this one for a little bit later because I want to save my green stickers up for the larger abodes on sand, because I'm building settlements now. And I really want those larger abodes to be grouped into my settlements. So my tip to you is don't unlock the wood built card until you've got larger abodes, but it's very much up to your personal play.
Один.
This is very useful if you're a sculptor. Now, I find myself being less of a sculptor at this stage of the game and a little bit more of a planner. I'm more tweaking things. I'm more placing down trees to buff my abodes. I'm doing a lot of voyages, so I don't tend to go for this card until I've got the right stickers. I definitely am not unlocking this card if it's a multi-pick sticker. If the sticker has got multiple resources on, don't burn a valuable resource on that. I would hold back on this until you unlock at least the third expansion shrine. And that's where, when you've unlocked the third expansion shrine, there's quite a lot of mountain sculpting to do. Because hidden inside some of the mountains are treasure temples. There's also some really a new way of getting gems as well. So I would be careful about unlocking this card.
I was going to say, I always kind of prematurely unlock this one because I'm always really excited just to move lots of land out the way. But yeah, you're probably a bit more on the nail with the strategy there, waiting for a few more expansions. And the whole cliff sculpting thing is something we're going to continue to kind of improve as well.
Поселение нужно улучшить. Будет через 15 минут. А это будет тоже через 16 минут. Мгм. Хм. Чпок, 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 чпок.
Now you start to see our sneaky pan about happiness. Your happiness is compared every hour with the Astari's happiness. If your happiness is lower than the Astari happiness, your people have left. Now, I have played this game where I've been unspeakably mean to my little followers. I've sacrificed a follower every time my followers' happiness is down the bottom. Now I'm paying the price for that, because every hour, at least 10%, maybe as much as 25% of your entire population will leave and emigrate to the Astari. If, however, you've been a nice, kind god and your happiness is greater than the Astari's, then you'll start getting the Astari people. However, they are tree buff. Incredibly valuable, this is one of the places where you really not need to start believing that Godus is a real strategy game. Where you place a tree, how you place a tree, how many trees there are in the world, the risk of overpopulating trees because of forest fires is essential to it. But you can double, with careful placement of trees round an abode, you can double, if not triple, the amount of belief that an abode is giving out to you. And if you're a belief hoarder like me, you're going to want to do that. So in my world, I've got 100+ trees in my world, very carefully placed. The nice thing is, I like about this, the way of buffing, is it makes your world look nicer as well. It also gives you that happiness boost, which is so essential.
М. Великий исход. Глючит немножко.
Denim.
Хорошо, хорошо. Набор наклеек железного века. И дары. Фонтан 20. Мгм. Непонятно. Я бы еще бы фонтан немножко поставил бы. Но... Походу, не судьба. Угу. Следующий верующий через 3 часа. Вот, перст Божий нужен мне. Угу. Прекрасно. Так, улучшать жилье. Да, шикарное жилище. Мне еще расти и расти. Так, тут, ну, строители будут через 10 минут. Поэтому, в общем-то, нормально. Давай еще одно здание построй здесь. Производители. А тут производителей вообще нету. Так, сила. Мгм. Плюс 4%. Плюс 6%.
Still done.
Building. Нечего здесь простаивать. Интересный факт. Заключается в том, что здесь больше ее нет.
This is incredibly useful. It's a great deal of fun just to squish your followers by just clicking on them. It also allows you to correct some of the mistakes you may have made earlier in the game. Maybe there's been an abode built on a little outcrop of land that you're not happy with. So you can modify that. You can destroy settlements and abodes and trees and followers. It's also very, very useful to make those pesky Astari unhappy. Okay, you've just been asked to remove rocks. Rocks are a fantastic store of belief. My first big tip to you is don't destroy too many rocks, because later on they're a really good way of getting that and topping up your belief. They seem like a negative, but actually later in the game when you're not mining, they become a positive. So be careful with your rocks.
Сила. Население 227. Ну, такое вот. — 335, 360. Вот военное поселение. Так,
Building.
билдинг. О, деревянное жилище.
Okay, you've just been asked to remove rocks. Rocks are a fantastic store of belief. My first big tip to you is don't destroy too many rocks, because later on they're a really good way of getting that and topping up your belief. They seem like a negative, but actually later in the game when you're not mining, they become a positive. So be careful with your rocks. Okay, improved housing. This allows you to use your belief to increase the population. If you're kind of a little bit frustrated by the speed at which people are breeding, you can just plonk down one of these and it increases the occupancy. I have to warn you, if you use this too much, you're cramming more and more people into those little abodes, and obviously the people don't like that. If you really overuse it in the later part of the game, you'll be creating slums where, 6 or 7 people live in an abode. So be very careful. Now, at this point of the game, you may be finding, again, you're waiting around a little bit. By all means, sacrifice people to the Temple of Doom and collect those lovely valuable gems. But I must warn you, you'll notice when you sacrifice a person in the Temple of Doom, it takes quite a long time to get for that person to breed back. So don't overuse it. You'll see, breed times of perhaps as long as 30 minutes. So if you're tempted to sacrifice the entirety of your population, which you can do, you're going to be waiting around an awfully long time. We've really tried. Swamps, incredibly useful. This is a destructive god power. Placing this near the Astari temple is my tip of the day. Whenever the Astari come out and have a little bit of celebration, there some of them will die. We have a bug in this build, which means it doesn't dissipate over time, so we're going to be fixing that bug soon. So enjoy this exploit while it exists.
Не понял. А я полностью уничтожил? Маяк не построен. Неожиданно я не успел посмотреть, как сжигается это здание. Но... это хорошо. Тут еще ковчег.
Okay, you've reached voyages. This is a completely separated mini game. Now, the point is, when you're doing a voyage, remember your homeworld is carrying on playing, so it's a great thing to do if you're waiting around for your followers to build things. After you've done this introductory voyage, you're going to have lots of voyages to choose from, and each one of those voyages can give you rewards for completing a land, like extra gems, more belief, more stickers, and later on some of the more resources. Also, as you do each of those lands, some of those lands we've hidden chests in, so there's some really nice bonuses to find in there. Generally speaking, when you complete a voyage, there's a big reward at the end. So it's well worth spending your time. Big tip here. Make sure when you go off and do your voyage, you've set your world up so there's lots of building going on. So when you've completed a voyage, you can come back and everything is all going to be set in place and the things being built. This is the whole ethos of the game. This is not a game that is you just do one thing at a time. There's lots of things that you can do at a time. You should not be waiting around, especially on the on this build. You should never be waiting around. There's always things for you to do.
Я пущу это все дело. Пофиг. Счастливые, несчастливые. Вы не сможете уйти от меня. Теперь уже точно. Где-то появилось местечко. О, здание появилось. Вращайте камеру двумя пальцами. А, можно QE нажимать. Вот. Это удобненько. Я теперь вижу некоторые вещи, которые раньше не видел. Два сундука. Спасибо. Один сундук с историей. Так. Так, что мне нужно? Это улучшение скульптуры. Так. Понятно. Лучшие фермерские поселения. Вояние. Лепка уровня 5+2. Понятно. А куда звук пропал? Без понятия. Еще один великий исход. Камней мне нету. Надо добывать. Две песенки получилось. Опять застряли. Так, можно улучшить вояние. Что поделать? Не такая игра такая. Говорит, что типа все это надо улучшать. А улучшить можно только одним способом. Отлично, все синие мы собрали. На той территории, которую можно было бы изучить сейчас. Ей. Можно открыть этот уровень лепки. Создание океанов. Вот он, 403, да? Холосом, холосом. Так, потихонечку, потихонечку что-то происходит. По-тихому убираю я лишние слои. Проиграл. Обойдем спереди, а этот угол просто срежу. Ага, игра опять крашнулась. Ой, ё-моё, ладно. Пока что на этом и закончим.